All right, welcome to the Super Late Model 150 at Sobo, fans. This is the South Boston. I got my good buddy Dave down in Virginia. It's Mike James on the Rock here in Newfoundland, and I'm super excited here on the Friday night to get things going here for Tim Terry's TCM and our friends at Tranquility Online. Dave, how's it going down in Virginia tonight, buddy?
Doing well. Glad to be back and doing another race here tonight. We had a lot of fun with the Old Dominion Speedway reunion down there at the Richmond Fairgrounds, or the old Richmond Fairgrounds, I guess you could say. What is it, Richmond International Raceway now? And had a really good time doing that race. And you guys were nice enough to ask me to come back. I had a real good time in Richmond. Looking forward to another race here at South Boston Speedway. I'm kind of familiar with this racetrack. It's one of the NASCAR home tracks that we used to run up against when I was with the Old Dominion Speedway in Manassas way back in well, I was there for a long time, about 35 years, and so we spent a lot of time watching what South Boston did, and they too watched what we did. We kind of ran together and had drivers go back and forth from the different racetracks. So really looking forward to tonight's event.
Well, we got the party pretty hard with Southern Boston Speedway as a sister track for the NASCAR home tracks. Eastbound Park spends a bit of time with them at the conferences as well as the championship night in North Carolina. So this is my first view of the Southern Boston Speedway. So it's exciting night for us in on the Rock and get to see what we got cooking here tonight. But we got quite a few drivers sprinkled all over the Maritimes here from New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and Nova Scotia, as well as Newfoundland, Labrador, and as well as a few from the United States. So very big stacked field from Bandolero champions right through to pro stock here, Dave.
Yeah, it's a lot of drivers here. I said there was 30 some odd drivers that were 40 some odd drivers that are attempting to qualify for this race, and it should be a pretty competitive field. My first time announcing a lot of these guys here from the Canadian on the Canadian side, so really looking forward to watching how it's done from there.
Well, they're going to grid here for the first heat race. We're going to see 3 heat races here, Dave. 10 laps on the board. We're going to take, I believe, 3 from each qualifier. Sitting on the grid here in pole number 1 from Newfoundland, Labrador, the 41 car, Jason Goss. And on his right side, he's going to have the young gun, the 98, Craig McDonald. Starting in row number 2, the 141, that's Richard Drake with Ethan Miller on the outside, the 80 car. And number 2, Todd Cousins, will be on the inside of row number 3 with the non-qualifier. He qualified earlier on in the non-qualifier race, the 7 car of Byron Bartlett, and completing the field, the 8 car of Evan Osborne, as well as the 42 of Mark Williams. So this will be the first heat race, Dave. 10 laps on the board, and we're going to take 3 for the big show.
And this should get crazy because you've got a pretty good starting field here. I think it was like 10 or 12 cars, and these guys shooting for just a top 3. So it should be an interesting 10-lap heat right here. This track very, very similar to the Old Dominion Speedway that I worked out. And here we go. We're going green. The 41 gets a jump going down the front straightaway.
And a 98 of Craig McDonald, a little bit on top of Jason Goss. There's contact already, Dave, and 98 gets by the 41. The 41 slipping back, and Ethan Miller coming from all the way from the back, now moving up side by side, looking for that position number 2. But Goss now squeezing back in after that little rough start there. Craig McDonald getting a little rough at the start here.
Well, you see these guys are getting around this racetrack pretty quick. In 10 laps, it doesn't take long to go around this racetrack, and these guys are shooting for that top 3, and one's in the back, the ones from about 5th on back, they don't have a whole lot of time to get it done. We are in the 8 car.
That's Evan Osborne.
Like he's running currently 6th, so he's about 6 laps away from getting eliminated tonight. He needs to kind of get around that 7 car, the Levi Garrett. Folks remember that car from years and years ago with Morgan Shepherd and Jeff Bodine driving that car back in the good old days. But there's the 98 car still up front. Craig McDonald, he's led from the start. He gave a little love tap to the 41 there on that very first lap, and he's been leading ever since. And as long as those 3 cars right there stay exactly where they're at, they will transfer to the main.
Yeah, I don't know if he's getting lots of friends here with Jason Goss out of the gate here, but Craig McDonald, a young gun from the East Coast here, taking control of this lap. They will have another last chance. Those that don't qualify on this heat race will get a last chance. We'll take 2 from the LCQs, and so we'll see some of these racers back for a final last chance for romance.
At this point, you talked about maybe not making any brownie points there at the beginning of the race, but right now it's to the point where you got 3 laps to go. You're running 2nd. Yeah, you might be a little hot under the collar for getting tapped from behind by the 98 car. There's the 41 car running 2nd. But right now he's in a spot to go ahead and transfer. So right now, cooler heads need to prevail. He needs just to follow that 98 on around for the next 2 laps and get himself in that main feature, and then maybe he can do the payback area in the feature race.
On the last lap for sure. Big battle going back there between Richard Drake as he tries to come up here. The 141 of Rational Richard, but that is going to be completing the race here as Craig McDonald took the white flag and is now the leader, and he's taking some checkers here tonight. So he'll be on the pole. And a little tap there from Jason Goss to just say, how are you? And our top 3 making the transfer here, Craig McDonald in the 98, 41 of Jason Goss, and as well as I believe that was the 80 car. And just like that, they're gridding already, Dave. No messing around here like in real life where we get a little pause and a bit of music, but they're going to go straight into this one again. And as you can see on the grid there, Dave, you can give us the lineup there, the 10 cars coming down the pole.
Looks like Mike Rhino, the car number 34, he's going to start on the front row. I can't see the car, the green car on the 57 car, John Brown, he's going to start in the second spot. John Byron, I should say. Car number 30, who's going to start third, Keith McClellan. He's going to be the inside of row number 2. And the outside car number 88, that is, I don't have him on my roster. Okay, I will. Cody Quinn, sorry. Some of the names I'm still new to, guys, so if I kill your name or if I don't know your name, kind of bear with me a little bit. 65 on the inside of row number 4, that is Kyle Matthews in that car. And then on the outside, car number 19, that's Ryan Walsh in the 19 car. And we go back another row, car number 66, that is Owen Mayer. And the 27 car going to round out the field, Corey Reed. Looks like we'll go one more lap before we go green. And don't forget, 10 laps. 3 cars will go to the main. The rest of the cars will go to the second chance feature. So these guys probably from about 5th on back need to get it done really quick.
Yeah, a couple big dogs in this race here. We got green flag action already. They are out of the gate here, and look at this. They're piling back there. Big battle with Corey Reed back there. 6-time Newfoundland and Labrador champion. Trying to move up. Was all the way to the back, now taking 2 spots in front of the 88 and the 66.
Yeah, the 88 kind of dropped. He started in the 4th position, and he kind of dropped really quick on that start. I don't know if he missed a gear or whatever happened to that car, but he kind of dropped a little bit. Well, he put the bumper to the 27, and then got clobbered by the 66 car. So, but no caution, bounced it off the wall, and he's unfortunately a little bit worse for the wear. Car's probably not going to handle after hitting the front end like that.
Yeah, pretty impressive. Corey Reed saving that, not drawing the caution there. Goes all the way back to the dirt track days here in Newfoundland and Labrador, so he knows how to dirt it around the track. So we got our leader right now, the 34, Mike Rhino, and he's being chased by Keith McClellan. We call him Mac Daddy, Keith Mac, but he's getting challenged right now from our 3rd and 4th position. Byron and Matthews trying to come up through the back.
And Byron needs to watch himself. Right now, he's locked into the main. He needs to really be careful. I mean, if he's going to make the pass on the 30 car, he needs to do it. He needs to do it clean. He needs to do it quick, because right now in his rearview mirror is that 65 car, that car of Colin Matthews, right on his bumper. One slip up, and Colin Matthews could be in the feature, and the 57 car could be sitting in the last chance race. So he really needs to make sure that he holds that position, and make sure if he does try to pass that 2nd place car, he needs to do it quick and he needs to do it clean.
Now, we got to see this track last night. Eastbound Park had a invitational last night. They ran 100 laps on the Sobo, and very tight, but we've seen a lot of 2-line racing here. It's a lot of side-by-side racing, so we're not seeing a lot of that early on in the heat race, but hopefully we get to see a lot of action once we get to the 150. But Colin Matthews sitting on outside the window, just saliving at that bone, trying to get up on that 57, but he's got 2 laps to go here, Dave. Not a lot of time, but Colin Matthews got to get on it right now.
Yeah, he's going to have to do it now. Like I said earlier, it doesn't take a long time to get around this 3/8 mile oval here in South Boston, and he's almost got to do it now. If he doesn't get any closer now, he's going to have to call it a day and go into his last chance race.
And that is going to be the completion of that race. Mike Rhino in the 34 will take the checkered, and transferring into the main 150 to Tranquility Online 150 will be Mike Rhino, Keith McClellan, the 30 car, and the 57 of John Byron. Unfortunately, for Matthews, he's going to have to bring it back to the LCQ and have another crack at it later on. But just like that, we are lining them up for heat race number 3, our final heat race of the night. We're going to take 3 more here, Dave, and sitting on the pole, there's a quick one, the car number 6. Brad Eddy is there. He's going to have the 78, John Fitzpatrick, another quick car that we've seen, and has taken some big wins throughout the last 4 weeks. Jarrett Butcher, the 54, will start on the inside of row number 2. He'll have the 67 of Wade Craswell on the outside. The two-time U.S. Legend champion for Newfoundland, the 23, Michael Neary, will be on the inside of row number 3. He'll have the 100 car of Tyler Reed, and completing the field, it's going to be the 32 of Caden Tufts. Tufts was qualifier in our non-qualifier race just before this, so he was not qualified into the main event, but he raced his way into for a chance here tonight. So keep an eye on that 32. He's already had some practice earlier on in the non-qualifier race. Cadence Frizzell has not made it to the pole. The 14 should be here at the end, but hopefully he gets back in time as he did not grid. He may make it back for the LCQ, so hopefully we'll see the 14 later on. But that's it, Dave. Brad Eddy's going to have the hammer here. John Fitzpatrick on the outside.
Another quick qualifying race coming up here. 8 cars on the, or 7 cars on the starting grid, unless the 14 car decides to file in towards the back. But 7 cars here. Once again, your top 3 will go to the main event in 10 laps. Doesn't take it long to go 10 laps, so they're going to have to get it done quick. I like some of these guys that have painted their cars from yesteryear. The old the Skull car, the 67 car back there with the Skull colors, old Harry Gant back in the day. And it's kind of neat to see some of these kind of yesteryear Darlington throwback type paint schemes here in South Boston.
Yeah, we've been running ARCA Super Lates. You get so used to the paint schemes from a lot of these drivers over the last month and a half since COVID-19 has come about. Tim has really put on a lot of these big shows. So we are gone already. Green flag is in the air, and the 6 of Brad Eddy gets it going here, Dave. And he's got a couple car lengths right now on John Fitzpatrick. But look at that, Jared Butcher trying to squeeze in there for position number 2 and pushing the 78 onto the outside.
Remember, I talked about it earlier. If you're going to go around the guy, if you're running in that top 2 and 3, and you're going to go around him, you've got to go around him quick. You got to go around him clean, because when these cars run side by side, it actually slows them down because they're not in the groove that they're used to running. And that 4th place guy can make up some time. And it looks like the blue car, the 4th place car of Michael Neary, he made up a little bit of time when those cars were running side by side. And it looks like they're going side by side again. So we may want to pay attention to that. Actually, the 23 car, I'm sorry, Michael Neary. Just pay attention to this just to see what happens. In my opinion, I think the 54 needs to kind of drop back, just kind of follow the 78 and finish out these last 6 laps, and just kind of watch that 23 car behind him just so he could get into that last, or the main.
Well, the 78, John Fitzpatrick now getting full control of that position number 2, but Michael Neary sitting on the outside here as they continue to go at it. The 54 taking a peek to the inside of the 78 here, and now look at that, just like you said, the 23 creeping up on the outside and sitting on that outside window, looking for that transfer spot here tonight. Very patient car. Michael Neary, young gun, just came out of the Bandolero series just a couple years, and been a U.S. Legend driver for the last 2 years, and was undefeated actually for 2 years until the final race of 2019.
Well, we talked about it earlier. If you watch it, when that 54 car peaks under that car in front of him there, the 78 car, that Neary makes up a little bit of ground. You see, he's kind of caught the back of the 54 car with 3 laps to go.
And that was the difficulty for 2 years in the Legend Series. Once Michael got out into some clean air, he was so consistent, lap for lap, very consistent driver. So once he gets in the groove and gets in his line, he can make up a lot of time here. But unfortunately, we only got 2 laps to go, so not a lot of time here as he wants to make up that real estate. He's got about 2 car lengths now to make up on the 54. Could you see a tap here? Probably not here. Michael Neary is a very well distinguished driver in the East Coast here. So we are finishing here with Brad Eddy taking the checkered flag, Dave, and it's going to be John Fitzpatrick and Jared Butcher making it to the show. Caden Tufts starting at the tail of this race, finishing position number 6 there, I believe, or position number 5. So Caden Tufts, making the non-qualifier earlier on, coming all the way from the back there. So hopefully he'll have a better shot now once we get to the LCQ. Oh, we are going to have a 4th heat race, actually. There will be 4 heat races here. We talked about it earlier that the possibility was going to be 3. That's going to change the LCQs. We're probably only going to be taking 1 driver from the LCQs now. So the 4th grid is already started. Sean Pierce, the 21. You'll see the 21 come up on your screen. Beautiful woods colors usually. He's going to have Craig Tully on the outside, the 5 on row number 1. Noel Fougere on the inside of row number 2, the 36. He's going to have the young gun from Newfoundland and Labrador, the 54, Nick Codner. On the inside of row number 3, the 09, Campbell Delaney, and he'll have Brandon Tobin on the outside. Completing the field here, Dave, the 121, Roger Down will be at the tail.
It's like one more pace lap to go, and we'll go green for 10 laps. Again, once again, reminder to the folks that are watching, 3 cars will come out of this, and as you mentioned, this being the 5th heat race, this last chance, or 4th heat race, that last chance qualifier just got really crazy because they're only going to take 1. And there was a lot of fast cars in these heat races. I suspect that last chance qualifier is going to be a doozy.
Over the last 6 weeks, some of the best racing that you've seen here is going to be the LCQs because it's all on the line. But we're going to get a clean start here as Sean Pierce hits the hammer, and he's going to take control of this race with Craig Tully fitting in there in position number 2. Nick Codner going toe-to-toe with Noel Fougere right now, side by side.
Heading down the front straightaway, still side by side for the 3rd spot. These guys, the 36 car and the 54 car should go ahead and get this thing straightened out because there's a car right behind him, that Brandon Tobin in that the 5th place car, and number 26 right on their bumper, just waiting for one of those guys to make a mistake. Looks like they've got it sorted out a little bit now. Everybody's in single file right now, which is something you got to do in these heat races because it doesn't take long to run 10 laps.
Yeah, Fougere and Codner, some of the top drivers, actually 2 Bandolero drivers from the East Coast. Some of the top drivers, they'll actually be in the All-Star race for the TCM. What has happened over the last 6 weeks, those that won their main events are been invited to the All-Star cast. These 2 young guns are going at it here. Nick Codner looking to the inside of Fougere on the 36. You're not going to want to lose sight of these 2 cars because they are going to drop the gloves right now for that transfer spot. Both drivers are some of the top drivers in the TCM, and Codner is going to want to make it. He does not want to go to the LCQ. He wants to get in the main event here. I think we got a doozy on our hands here, Dave, for the final 5 laps.
Yeah, and now that you mentioned that they're only going to take the winner of that last chance qualifier, you definitely want to lock yourself into this this main coming up. So the that 4th place car, the 54 car, he's going to have to get it done with just 4 laps to go.
And I've watched this kid grow up in the Bandoleros at the age of 9 years old, and he is one of the top I've seen development. One of the top developed drivers in Atlantic Canada. And Noel Fougere, another one of those top development kids from the Bandos. What's so cool about this series right now, Sean Pierce, a pro stock driver up in front, and there is, look at this, the 36 does not want to battle with Codner. He's going to drive for that P2. If I was Craig Tully, I'd be worried right now. Oh, huge contact between Codner and Tully.
I would suspect there may be a little payback on his final lap, especially if that the 54 got around him. I suspect we may have a little bit of an issue going up. Oh, he went for it, but ended up in the fence on the inside. So tough break.
We talked about that, Noel Fougere and Codner, and I knew they were going to come on strong, and Fougere seen the window on Tully, and Codner was not going to delay, and he was going to try to go. It got a little rough there, but unfortunately for Tully, he's not going to make it here. So he will get another chance here as we move on to the LCQs here. Now, we're going to stack them all up again. We talked about it early. We are only going to take 1 for the main event here, I believe. And we originally had 2, but now with 4 heat races, that's going to drop it down to 1. And right now, right away, we're going to grid them. And this is where the gloves are going to come off here, Dave. This is going to be exciting racing. And sitting on the pole right now, the 7 car, Byron Bartlett, who was in the non-qualifier race earlier on and made it to the show. He's got a lot on the line here. Can the 7 veteran Byron Bartlett make it into the main on this final LCQ? On the outside of row number 2 to 23, Michael Neary, we just seen just a little while ago on the outside of 4th position, so he's going to be looking for a big return here. The 141, Richard Drake, will be on the inside of row number 2 with the 32 of Caden Tufts, our other non-qualifier race winner. On the inside of row number 3, the 8 of Evan Osborne. He's going to have the 100 car of Tyler Reed on the outside. The 42 of Mark Williams will be on the inside of row number 4 with the 67 of Wade Craswell. And completing the field, the number 2, Todd Cousins. Now, Dave, Todd Cousins being at the tail here, I've been watching this kid for 6 weeks now. I can tell you he does know how to put on a show. So coming from all the way from the back, keep an eye on that 2-car of Todd Cousins.
He's going to have some help to be able to come from the back of the field to the front of the field, because the 7 car and the 22 or 23 car, both were pretty strong in their heat races. So he's going to need some help. He's going to have everything's got to kind of fall in his lap for him to get up to that winning position, and it's going to be a tough order to fill.
Green flag, Byron Bartlett takes full advantage of having the hammer, and he's going to come out with about a car length on the 23 of Michael Neary. Another car to keep an eye on, the 141 Richard Drake last weekend had a huge show, but he's going to get wrecked here. The 9 into the back, and he's going to take the 88 of Caden Tufts. Caden Tufts is scored as the 32, but it is the 88 here tonight. But we got carnage here and a yellow flag. Our good friend from Verdane TV, Paul Strickland Jr., Mr. Macho Man, going to give you some replay. Back to you.
Oh, yeah, brother. We're going to take a look at the... I can't do that for the whole... We're going to take a look at the AWS Roofing instant replay here. I never thought I was going to get a mic. Oh, we were racing so clean all night long. It's great to see these guys put on a heck of a show for these qualifying races. We're going to take a look here from the Shed Life Shed Movers blimp. We're going to focus in on that 141 Laker News car. As you can see, he's down on the inside. He gets a little bit of a door tap from the 88. And as they head on down in the corner, a little bit of a nudge from the 8 car sends the 141 around, and he kind of skates up into the 88 car. So tough break for those guys. Luckily, it doesn't look like the damage is too bad, so they're going to be able to grab a gear, get rolling here, and we're probably going to restart with about 10 laps to go. So it's going to be a tall order, but I think that's plenty of time to get from the back to the front, especially with these Tranquility Super Late models.
Now, not sure if we're running the no-fault caution. Are they going to score the 8 to the back? And yeah, that is going to be safe. We see the 8 now falling all the way to the back, Dave. So here at the TCMs, they are doing no-fault cautions. So the 8 has been tagged with the little no-no. So he's gone to the back.
Yeah, but we had our rules at Old Dominion, and basically, if your bumper was involved, you were considered involved, and you go to the back. So it didn't surprise me that 8 car was actually put to the back. But you know, we talked earlier about this. We talked for that 2 car you were talking about, Cousins, Todd Cousins. We were talking about him. If things fall into place, well, a caution on lap 1, or on lap 5. A caution and brings him up to the 5th spot. So, you know, things kind of fell his way that time, but he's still got 4 strong cars he's going to have to pass.
Well, with 15 on the board, I would say we may see a shootout at the end of this, maybe possibly a green-white checkered. If my good buddy Larry Mack was here, he'd probably tell you that there's quite a big possibility.
Oh, we got another one on the back. Looked like a couple of them got together back there again. Yep.
Yeah, they're wrecking already.
And no caution, though. Well, they're going to have to throw one. The 88 car, well, he was sitting there. Okay, the 88.
Not called a caution. The 88 did get towed to pit road, so the 67 with tons of damage there now. So that's Wade Craswell. Caden Tufts, the 88 car, got towed to pit road, so he's getting worked on. That's going to be the end of the night for him. But Dave, we got 8 laps completed of 15, and look at that, the 2 car coming on strong on the 100 of Tyler Reed.
Well, we talked about it earlier. Things had to fall in his place, and had the caution come out on that lap, you know, he could have started. He could have started on the inside again and got himself the opportunity. Well, let's see. He held on to it till the fence got in the way.
Yeah, the 8 of Evan Osborne into the back.
Yeah, Evan.
Cousins.
Yeah, the 8 cars. They probably need to put him in the back again if they're going to do the whole no fault thing again. Oh, it wasn't even a caution, so I guess they're going to let him run.
Still green. Byron Bartlett in control here. We are, I believe, unless Tim is going to tell me differently, we are only taking 1. So Byron Bartlett is in the whole shot. And you know what's exciting about this? The 7 car was not even qualified for tonight. He won the non-qualifier race just earlier on. But Mark Williams and Michael Neary, they got 4 laps to go here, Dave. Can they bring it on here at the late stages of the LCQ?
Well, they're going to have to step it up with 4 to go, and it looks like about 4 or 5 car lengths in between it. That 7 car is going to have to make a big mistake for that 42 car to be able to catch him. Right now, it looks like the distance is staying right about the same. The gap still about 4 or 5 car lengths, and he's just got to hold on for 2 more laps.
Michael Neary turning 100 laps last night in the Eastbound Invitational here at the Sobo, but it's not going to be a good night here for the 23 as we count down. The white silk is going to come out for Byron Bartlett. He only got 4 more corners to go, and it's going to be magic night here for Byron Bartlett. As I said earlier, not qualified into tonight and took the race earlier on, and basically it's a magic night right now for the 7 as he has now qualified into the main show. The 7, your winner, Byron Bartlett, followed by the 42 of Mark Williams, the 23 of Michael Neary, the 100 of Tyler Reed, and the 67 of Wade Craswell, your top 5.
Well, it was kind of fun watching the Cousins, the number 2 car, coming up through the field. Like I say, everything had to fall into place, and looked like it was going there for a while until he got tagged from behind. So tough night for him, but one thing about iRacing, you just come back, you do it again the next night.
And we are gritting already. Our final LCQ tonight before we get into the Tranquility Online 150. And sitting on the pole here, the 65, Dave, we've seen him earlier on. He was a fast car. The 65, Colin Matthews, he was on the outside in position number 4 to not make the show. Here he is on the pole, the 65 in the cat car, Colin Matthews. On the outside of row number 1 to 5, Craig Tully. We've seen him earlier on, a big run for Tully, and hopefully he can put on some pressure here on Colin Matthews. On the inside of row number 2, the 19 for Newfoundland and Labrador, Ryan Walsh, and he'll have the 09 of Campbell Delaney on the door. 66 of Owen Maher is on the inside of row number 3, with Roger Down on the outside. In row number 4, the 27, Corey Reed, 6-time champion. He's going to have Brandon Tobin on the outside. Completing the field will be the 88 car of Cody Quinn, and once again, we have not seen Cadence Frizzell, the 14 car, so he will not make the show, and that will be our field. So this is the final last chance for romance, Dave.
Yeah, I guess in iRacing, I guess when you don't make the field, is that it's hard to say that it would be a mechanical problem. So I guess it's maybe an internet problem. I guess maybe is the reason he's not running tonight. I'm not familiar with this, but
his wife probably threw something at him.
Well, there's always that possibility. I mean, not the first time that somebody's got in trouble doing this too long.
I got 5 kids. My wife just threw a dirty diaper at me.
Yeah, I think we've got a setup for a good race here because you got four really quick cars in the front row here, and once again going to take one out of the last chance. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. We are only taking one. So the 65 Colin Matthews, that's going to be a hot car, but we are going to go green here, Dave, and the 65 takes control. Craig Tully in the 5 trying to slip in there, but look at Ryan Walsh coming up through.
And the 5 get turned. The 19 car, yeah, the 19 car turned the 5 car. Still no caution, though.
Oh, unfortunately for Tully, into the barrels on the entrance there, and
up there's your caution.
They are going to throw the caution.
There's your caution flag. So I guess what that means with iRacing rules, the 5 car and the 19 car go to the back. We'll see how the officials score this one as they went into the corner, but there definitely was some contact, it looked like, with the 19 car and the 5 car of Craig Tully.
And
yeah, we'll
go ahead.
Go ahead. That's what it's like working with somebody from Canada. Everybody's like, "Oh no, you go ahead." We'll take a quick look
Only
here.
if you do it in the Larry Mack voice.
Well, what we're going to do here is we're going to take a look at this Rent a Race Car instant replay.
It's a terrible, terrible rendition of Larry Mack.
That's because he's from Connecticut.
Yeah.
We're
How can a Connecticut guy do a Larry Mack thing? You know.
I ask myself that every day. But we're going to take a look here from the Rent a Race Car blimp. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was born in North Carolina. I could probably get a little closer than that. But let's take a look here. 5 car comes down, but yep, still a little contact there. And again, depending on how the rules are interpreted here, if your bumper's involved, but we'll see what the officials do here. It'd be an interesting call.
Yeah, it doesn't look like looks like Craig Tully did lose a lap there, so there's going to be 8 cars on a lead lap. Still showing the 19 19 car up in second, so don't think we're going to call a penalty on that. May very well have just been a racing deal.
Contact is what they call that.
Now, we've seen it in the past at some of these races that the caution flag got hit by accident, and someone was someone got in trouble. So hopefully that's not the case here.
That may very well have been true too, because I've seen that happen as well. Somebody saw the 5-car go around, had it typed up, the command for the yellow flag, and it's just one car. I dropped my wobbly pop on the enter button, and it sent it on through.
Yeah.
So,
Dave, I've spent a lot of time in the tower with our directors, and you know, sometimes you want that button for your flagman to throw the caution, but it's so far exciting night here. Our final race, the 19, Ryan Walsh on the outside, a bit of a gentleman, not used to seeing the 19 into the back of anybody, but unfortunately for Tully, he's going to come at the tail with a couple laps down.
Yeah, I get it that you know, there may have been a little bit of you know, kind of figuring out what's going on, because you got the guy sitting there at the end of pit road, and then when he left, he went on down pit road. So I mean, you know, and he's sitting there at the entrance of pit road up against the barrels, and it's one of those things where you have to make the call as quick as possible, and that happens sometimes.
Well, here we go. We are cross flags here as they come around. Lap 7 coming up for number 8. So 7 laps to go here, and Walsh in the 19 all over the back bumper, that Colin Matthews. But look at this in the inside here. I believe that is the 88, and they are wrecking.
They are.
We'll hang on to it.
Look at that. Yep. Definitely a caution flag that time. The 88 and the 88 car of Quinn, and the 19 car, they kind of duking it out. But you know, you kind of got to go for it. You're only going to pull one from this feature, and the car gets down on the inside of you like that. You've got to try to hold him off as much as you can. And you know, just another racing incident, you know, product of a 3/8 mile short track.
Yeah, taking a look right now at the Rent a Race Car instant replay.
Tight.
And the 88.
You see the 80. It's a run on him. Goes to the inside. You see it. 19 car gives him room, but the 88 had so much momentum. It looks like. Well, they came out of the corner here pretty good, but he had a lot of. He's still on the inside, but had a lot of momentum. The car pushed up a little bit, and all it takes just a little bit of a tap. And they were both kind of trying to get it straightened out, but then that final little hit right there is what turned the 19. So unfortunately for both of those drivers, they'll end up in the back of the field.
Yeah, tough break for those guys. Just taking a look at the Rent a Race Car instant replay, and a couple of big hits in there. I don't believe these guys have any resets. The quick repairs that you see that the NASCAR Cup drivers have when they were running the iRacing deal a few weeks back on TV, but they're going to be able to at least come down pit road and kind of bang out some of the sheet metal, the virtual sheet metal, if you will, with the virtual hammers. You might be able to get some of that damage repaired, but I'm not really sure if it's going to be too much or too little too late, as the 65 car here, the Atlantic Caterpillar car of Matthews, is doing a great job dominating this Conti race so far. Led 11 laps at this point, so going to be hard to get around him. We've seen some action out of the 26 car. Might be able to get up to him, but can he get around him with restarting? Looking like a green-white checkered here. 2 laps to go on the restart.
Little shootout here for the final position here, Dave. Colin Matthews had heartache on the heat race in that 4th position. Did not make it that way. So here it is. He's got a lot of pressure on him here in the final 2 laps. Can he hang on? We'll see in just a moment.
What he's going to look for is he's going to hope that when they give the green flag, that the 3rd place car, the 09 car, Campbell Delaney, and the 26 car of Brandon Tobin start duking it out between themselves and get side by side, because there's only going to be about 2 laps to go when they drop the green. And if those guys will run side by side, the 65 car, Colin Matthews, he should be home free with those guys running side by side.
Yeah, it's going to be
all comes down to the start.
Yeah, and in iRacing compared to the real deal, I find that the outside has it difficult to kind of gauge. And just like we just seen then, Colin Matthews had a good jump.
This is exactly what I talked about before we even got started. That 65, Tobin definitely wanted to see the 2nd, 3rd place car run side by side with only a couple laps to go. That'll definitely slow him down. That's all it took was that's all it took was 1 lap for those 2 cars to run side by side. And look at the distance he's put in there, taking the lead there with 1 lap to go.
Corey Reed trying to come up, getting into the door of the 27 or the 26 of Brandon Tobin, but That's going to be a checker flag, and look at that, the 65, Colin Matthews making to the big show. We are only going to take one, so unfortunately for the rest, we'll hopefully see them tomorrow for our big IWK fundraiser. So we got another big race tomorrow, so hopefully we'll see some of these racers back. But we're going to do a little warm-up here, Dave. We're going to have an anthem and grab some wobbly pops and get ready for the main event.
Okay, folks, we'll get ready for the national anthem here. If you're able to, would you please rise for singing of O Canada?
O Canada, our home and native land.
True patriot love in all of us command. Quand ombre se porte l'épée, il se porte la croix.
From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land. Glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Drivers, start your engines.
Living with anxiety or depression can make everyday situations and interactions seem impossible, and getting the right help can be expensive and inconvenient. We're changing that with Tranquility. Our program follows the highly effective gold standard, cognitive behavioral therapy, which helps people change negative thoughts and unhelpful behaviors by teaching them skills to practice in real life. Using Tranquility is convenient. You can move at your own pace from your phone or computer, and you don't have to do it alone. Your one-on-one coach is there to help keep you motivated and supported all the way through. If you're ready to unlock the tools you need to approach the day with confidence, visit tranquility.app to sign up for a free trial.
You want to know what makes your favorite food taste even better? Not having it for a while. You want to know what makes the holidays so great? Only having them once a year. You want to know what made your first visit to the racetrack the best? Never having that experience before. When we have too much of something, it's easy to take it for granted. This is a reminder to appreciate every track, every race, every crew member, and every win. Because there will be a time when those moments seem out of reach.
What are you at? It's the Super Late Waddle Bottle 150 here at Sobo, Southern Boston. And I'm with my good buddy Dave, who's trying to learn some Newfoundland lingo. So what are you at there, buddy? How's she cutting tonight there, Dave?
I don't know what you just asked me, but things are getting ready to
I
heat up.
asked you, how is she cutting like the log? If you're sawing a log, is it naughty or is it nice?
Oh, my goodness. Throwing a lot at me here, throwing a lot at me here tonight. All I know is that we're at South Boston Speedway in South Boston, Virginia. We have got 150 laps coming up here pretty soon, and we are going to have a heck of a race. The cars are lining up right now. I am looking forward to this. Ever since we got done with the Richmond race a few weeks ago, the Legends race that I did a couple weeks ago, and I am looking forward to some good racing action here at South Boston Speedway. So what are you at, my friend?
Oh, how's she cutting in? Yes, bye. It's going to be an exciting night. And look at that Newfoundlander on the pole. The young gun, just the 2019 Bandolero champion. The 31 of Joey Arsenault is sitting on the pole from Logie Bay. So he's going to have some, oh, yes, bye tonight. On the outside, the 53 Cole Butcher. That's a two-time champion of the Maritime Pro Stock Tour. So big guns on the front row. On the inside of row number 2, Matthew Burkhouse in the 15, and he's going to have the 99 of Brandon Campbell in the 99. On the inside of row number 3, a young gun, the 87 of Danny Chisholm. He's going to have Stephen Matthews in the 56. On the inside of row number 4, the 24, Jake Goodwin, and Corey Hall on the outside. So that's 8 drivers we haven't seen tonight. All 8 drivers qualifying in the qualifier. On the inside of row number 5, that's Craig McDonald in the 98. He's going to have Mike Rhino on the outside. In row number 6, the inside, number 6, Brad Eddy, and he'll have the Woods Brothers number 21, Sean Pierce on the outside. The firefighter from Torbay, Newfoundland and Labrador, the 41 of Jason Goss is there. He's going to have Daddy Mac, Keith Mac McClellan in the 30. And the 78 of John Fitzpatrick. He'll have the 36 of Noel Pougier. And then the 80 of Ethan Miller, John Byron, Jared Butcher, Nick Conner, Byron Bartlett, and Colin Matthews. And Dave, we are green flag already.
Just like that, we are green flag racing in the 31 car. He takes the lead. Joey Arsenault takes the lead, leading him down into turn number 1. And will lead lap number 1 with the 53 car of Cole Butcher right in his tire tracks.
You know, we did not see the top 8 as they qualified as we went through those 4 heats and 2 LSCQs. So we're getting a quick look in on our top 8 here that we haven't seen all night. But Joey Arsenault putting on a show in front of that 2-time Maritime Pro Stock champion, Cole Butcher. But this is going to be an exciting night. 150 laps on the board. We've seen 100 laps last night at the Eastbound Invitational here at Sobo, and there was a lot of side-by-side racing, so it's only getting cooking here as the 53 takes a peek to the inside of the 31. They'll go door to door.
See him go down there below that yellow line. The yellow line comes into play at some of the super speedways you see on the NASCAR Tour. But here at South Boston and all the short tracks along the up and down the East Coast and across the country, that yellow line is not out of bounds, so they can go down there if they want to. The problem is the track's a little bit flatter down there, and so if they get that thing hooked up right, they could be the hero or the zero really quick. It could either get them around the corner quicker, or it could upset the car and turn them around. So at this point right now, the yellow line is not out of bounds, and 53's been trying to get down to the inside of the 31, Joey Arsenault, but Cole Butcher still running in that second spot, but taking a lot of looks down there on the bottom side. Only 7 laps down.
Yeah, so impressed right now with that front row with Joey Arsenault and Cole Butcher. Cole Butcher, also one of the young guns coming out of the Bandolero Series several years ago, making it all the way up into the Pro Stock Series. Joey Arsenault now just leaving the Bando Series and entering the U.S. Legends. Putting on a show, but there's contact here. The 31 is going to go around the 53. Yellow flag's going to come out. I got a funny feeling the 53 is going to go to the tail.
It was, and I looked away for just a second. I was looking at some of the lap times that the guys are looking at. I'm all about numbers, and I like to look at the lap times. I looked over the lap times. I looked back, saw the 31 sideways. So I am really interested to see what this replay looks like, to see what the issue was with your top 2 cars.
Well, the 31 was putting on a bit of a show there, you know, and I think Cole Butcher just tried that inside there, but got caught the corner there. But Paul's going to break it down here as he rewind here.
You know, what's really fortunate is the 31, the Arsenault guy, he was actually, of course, leading the race, and he spins right in the middle of the whole pack, and nobody hits him, which was really good. You talked about reset buttons. At least he doesn't have to use a reset button tonight.
Not a lot of
oh yeah.
Here, but
you see cars going all inside, outside, and they all, well, there was no contact with the wall there, but nobody hit the 31 car, so he kind of had the shoe with him tonight. But see what the call is. Looks like the 54 car is going to go to the back.
Yeah, Cole Butcher has been penalized now, and our new front row will be the 99 of Brandon Campbell with Danny Chisholm, the 87, now making it to the front row. Chisholm will be on the outside. We've seen Danny over the last several weeks put on a show here. Young Bandolero driver from the East Coast as well. Very cool here to see, some of the veterans to the legendary Pro Stock champions peppered in here with hobby stock, sportsmen's, late models, you name it. It's in here in the TCM live events, and you don't get to see that in real life, Dave. And it's pretty exciting to see some of these young bandoleros who are putting on a show. A lot of those guys they're racing with tonight, they're the ones that they look up to. Some of their heroes, such as Cole Butcher. So 99 will get a little squat there coming out there, and he'll go toe-to-toe with the 87. 87 with the advantage on that restart. The 99 has a handful with the 87 in the outside.
Interesting to note that we've got these cars running up front right now, and run a little side-by-side here, but probably want to keep an eye out on those last two cars, the two cars that got put to the back, the Cole Butcher and the Joey Arsenault car. I want to keep track of them because that caution flag came out early enough to, if they could pick up a handful of, and here's another caution, I was just getting ready to say it, if they could get a couple more cautions and they could pick up 3-4 spots each caution, by lap 100, these guys could find themselves right back in the thick of things. So don't count those guys out yet.
Yeah, and
this was a big one. This was a big one here. It looked like the 98 car. I'm trying to get all my names here. Craig McDonald, looks like Craig kind of got up on his lid here. Let's see what happens.
And that's
Into the
Steve
corner.
Matthews on the
Looks like
inside.
the 56 car caught him in the door. Got him turned, but it wasn't that well. Looked like he might have overcorrected a little bit, and then it got away from him and then climbed the wall. And then he went for the long ride down there on his lid going in the corner.
Strange for him to ride that
Well,
wall.
the
but
80
look at
car,
that. Oof.
80 car was all over the place, man.
The 80 went all the way over to 78 of Fitzpatrick. So
Back in the day of Old Dominion, we called that what they called the full pull is what we called that. Oh yeah, my man went for the ride.
Joey Arsenault gets squeezes by there.
In car from the 80. Is the 80? Oh, this should be interesting. Oh yeah.
Little wobbly pop.
Yeah. Kind of reminds you of Earnhardt back in the day when he flipped it at Daytona. He just kind of drove off and went back to the pits after he rolled it going down the back straightaway. So guess you could do that in iRacing. All right, let's take a look. Let's take a look at where we're at here. We've got we're under caution here at lap 19, and Arsenault has already picked up about 7 spots, which is 6 or 7 spots, and the 54 car has already picked up about 6 or 7 spots as well. So these two cars, again, they got that caution flag early, then they got another subsequent caution flag, and those guys are knocking on the door at the top 10 right now. So probably need to keep track of those guys throughout this event, because we've only got 20 laps down. We still got 130 laps to go in this event.
You got a little shake and bake action going back there. The 54 and the 53 are brothers, and both from the Marathon Pro Stock Tour, so you might see them tag team and trying to come up through this minefield of cars. So keep an eye on that 54 and the 53. Like you said, they got a bit of a run here, hopefully, as we see the field switching around here as some of the cars go to the tail here. Steve Matthews all the way to the back, but we have a green flag. Danny Chisholm with the hammer gets a full control of this now, as the last one he was on the outside, but he gets the hammer here tonight. He's got a couple of car lengths on Matthew Barkhouse, the 15, and he's got a rear view mirror of Jake Goodwin and Brandon Campbell coming up from back.
Got himself a little bit of a lead, which is unusual for this point. Right now, we've seen such a good battle for the lead for all these cars, but the 87 car, Danny Chisholm, got himself a pretty comfortable lead if you call 5 car lengths comfortable. But right now, he needs to kind of settle in, putting the laps down. We're only 23 laps into 150 laps, and just kind of everybody needs to just kind of settle into about lap 100, 125. And then if you've got anything, you're going to have to show it. Look at the scoring monitor, the 54, Nick Codner, he's already up to 9th place. Arsenault still mired back there in 13th place. So at this point, he hasn't made any progress, but the 54 car is definitely on the move.
The 21 now looking to the inside of Byron. Codner may go with him here, but they're going to battle it out now. And a little contact with the wall there. John Byron, as he battled with the 21 of Sean Pierce. And the 54 takes the peek to the inside. He's going to dip it down there. It's going to get close here, but the 54 is going to clear here. Spotters are shouting right now as Noel Fougiere's in there as well into the mix. And, oh, there's contact. Fougere is around, and that's going to be, I believe that was Brad Eddy. Not quite sure, but caution is going to come out here on lap 27. We'll see a replay here, but Fougere was around the 36. Looks like a few more cars were involved there, Dave.
Interesting when they throw the replays here. Like we didn't even see the 80 car do his thing on that last one, but when you show the replay, you kind of see how many people were actually involved. Looks like the 6 got into the 36. 31 got a piece of it. I don't know what happened behind it, but I guess they kept on wrecking behind him. Oh, they wrecked in front of him.
In front of him, yeah. Jason Goss gets into the 83, and there looks like a lot of damage on that 83, and that's Corey Hall, part of King's Racing. We'll see here. Oof.
Looks like the 8 might have checked up, and the 83 just kind of tagged him as he was trying to pass him. So, not too much of an incident there, but definitely collected a couple more cars.
And we're not sure. We're not seeing the incident points here on our screen, but there is an incident cap. So some of these cars, if they get over, I'm not sure what the cap is tonight. Paul might be able to tell us. I believe it might be 25 points, and if they get to that point, that's a DQ.
I know a few weeks. I know a few. Sorry, wrong button.
There he is.
No, too many wobbly pops. I know.
Oh, there we go.
A few weeks back, I know Tim. We'll have to see if we can. Actually, you know what? Let's talk to Tim real quick. We've got a few moments under caution here. We'll talk to Tim Terry. Quick question here from the booth, Tim. Do we have an incident cap point here tonight, or an incident point cap?
That's easy for you to say, right?
Easy enough for me to say.
Yeah, something like that. We gave them 4 extra points tonight, actually, Paul. It's 25 tonight. So
it is 25. Mike wins the prize.
Right. Woo-hoo!
Yeah,
I get a prize.
Yeah, so far, it's been good considering what South Boston can handle. A couple of cautions at the start, like there usually is, but I think so far so good. Great to see Joey Arsenault and Cole Butcher up front, even though that they had their issues. But we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, great show so far tonight. I'm sure we'll talk to you a few more times here, Tim.
Sounds good. You guys have fun.
Well, what's exciting right now, Dave, Joey Arsenault now is in the 10, so he's made up almost 11 spots here. He's got Nick Codner on the inside in position number 9, so 2 real quick cars from Newfoundland Labrador. Both of them battled it out for a championship this season. The 54 finishing in second place and the 31 taking that championship, but they were some of the best racing I've seen was in 2019, watching that 31 and 54 go toe-to-toe for all 10 races of the season. So we got green flag here. Oh, they're wrecking again, and a big one is happening as all of them pile up here, Dave.
Yeah. And that includes the leader. The leader is actually involved.
Damn.
Driving backwards here. We got all kinds of stuff going on here. But how does the leader get involved in something like that? I mean, it was that was crazy. I'm interesting to see the replay on that one.
Did you just see the cold trickle move by the 87 of Danny Chisholm? Yeah, the transmission's gone with the 87.
Okay, let's see. First off, let's figure out how the leader got involved in this, and if that's what actually started it. Coming into 3, coming out of 4 right here. 99. And the start looks good so far. Everything's going good. A little bit of a tap from the 99. Oh, he crawled up there in front of the 15 car, and then it was just kind of place after that.
Oh boy.
Well, I guess Tim Terry. Tim Terry going to have a hard time getting all these cars lined up with all that mess happening.
So what's the no-fault caution on this one?
Used to say, just put them all in the back.
Who goes to the back?
Just put them all in the back.
Just put them all in the back.
That's what we used to say back in the day, man. We don't know. Just if there's a bunch of cars, just put them all in the back.
Wow. And I'm sure you've seen quite a few racing incidents in your career. We were talking just earlier on in the break, Dave, Old Dominion, several different tracks in your career. Where did you start? How long ago was your first race?
Well, if you want to go back to my first race that I ever went to, my dad took me to Darlington in 1966, and I was hooked. Yeah, I know. I just dated myself, and I was hooked at that point to oval track racing. Followed it, and there was a track that was very close to where I lived. Of course, it was the Old Dominion Speedway in Manassas, Virginia, and I started going there in '78, '79. Was helping a guy named Bob McElwee who was out there running. Next thing you know, I interviewed with Dick Gore. A lot of the folks maybe listening may be familiar with Dick Gore, especially if we've got some South Boston fans here. With Dick Gore, and he hired me in 1985. And I did all their PR and marketing for him for the long time. And then in 1993, I climbed in the flag stand and I flagged for him for 19 years. And then they tore the racetrack down and built a bunch of townhouses. And now I find myself at the Winchester Speedway in Virginia. It's a dirt track, a bit different for me now, but I've been doing that for about 6 years now, and working currently at Winchester Speedway.
Nice. What a career. And we have green flag here in the 99, Brandon Campbell. With all that mayhem, surprised that they did not penalize him for kind of hitting before the start of the race, but the 99 is in control. But we have caution once again, Dave.
You were just talking about whether or not he was penalized. To me, on that start, it looks like he did in fact make contact with the 87 car, the leader, but he hit him flat. He didn't really turn him. And the 87 car just kind of got a little wobbly, but then he kind of ran up in front of that 15 car, and I think they probably called it as an incidental contact. So maybe that's why they didn't penalize him. But it looked like a pretty fair, solid hit there on that start. But trying to figure out what's happened on this. Oh, here we go. Oof. 65 car, your early leader
Matthews.
Involved in an incident. Oh, I can probably see this coming already. There was no question. Yeah, the 83 kind of put it where it didn't need to be, but he collected all of them. And then the 56 car, just a victim of circumstances there. He just kind of he was in wrong place, wrong time.
Just a little chat about the 83 of Corey Hall. One of the top drivers in the TCM events, has won quite a few races. Got to see him make some magic in Las Vegas and Richmond and all over the place. And but unfortunately tonight for Corey Hall, he's just been collected in some of this carnage. Not on purpose, but just at the wrong place at the wrong time. And unfortunately for Corey Hall, I'm sure quite a bit of damage right now on the 83 as we're not seeing him on the screen right now. I'd say he's probably heading down pit road once again.
Let's give a call to Jake Goodwin in that 24 car. The last time I saw the 24 car, he was doing pirouettes in the air. And all upside down, and everything else on that massive wreck we had on the front straightaway. And what's left of he in his car is currently running in the second spot. So I want to give a call out to Jake Goodwin, holding on to that second spot. We're still kind of early in the race. We'll see how the damage affects the car as we move on into this event. But right now, good solid effort for the 24 car of Jake Goodwin.
Well, the thing is, a lot of the cars have damage now, so it's
right.
There's not a lot of cars here that are super clean. Quite a few have been tangled up throughout some of these cautions. 44 laps completed. We've seen some doozies here, so Jake Goodwin may have a shot here as he's on the outside. Gotta gauge this restart here. Keith Mack there in row number 2. That looks like a sharp-looking car. Not a lot of damage that I could see. He's a strong runner, so he's got a bit of an advantage on the inside of row number 2. So we'll see here as the pace truck has exited. And here we go. Brandon Campbell with the hammer, and he take full advantage of that launch. And he's got about a half car right now as Jake Goodwin slides it in there.
I'm looking at the top 5 or 6 cars, and if I remember correctly, the 54 car of Jared Butcher and the 31 car, your 2 front row starters, they have found their way into the top 10. The 54 car in the 5th spot and the 31 car of Joey Arsenault in the 8th spot. Their cars look pretty clean, so again, I've been talking about it all event. You know, they did have to go to the back, but with all these early cautions, it's kind of given them the opportunity to make up, let's call it some free passes here and there at this point.
Yeah, 47 laps completed here, and another car on the run here is Nick Codner as he finds his way in position number 3. Nick Codner, the young gun from New Torbay, Newfoundland, Labrador, young Bandolero driver, and super slick of a driver. So it's exciting to see what he has. He has a bit of damage on that 54, but he has slid all the way up to that position, and he's now got Keith McClellan fighting hard on that back bumper, but they're stacking them up there. Not a single file racing now. The 54, like you said, Jared Butcher, the old 54. We have two 54s there. Nick Codner in position number 3, Jared Butcher in that position number 5.
Like both of those cars as well. The 54 car, we talked about him. We've been talking about him a lot. He was one of our front row starters, and he is he's trying to make it up to the top 4 spot. And there's the 30 car going around. Why do these things always happen when I look at my score tower? I'm looking up. Oh, we got a pile up over here.
Now you're getting confused again with the 54 and 53. The 53, Cole Butcher was qualified on the front row.
Oh, okay, all right.
54 was mid-pack, but they're the two Butcher brothers. But once again, now we got lots of carnage here. So we'll see here. It looks like the 87 Danny Chisholm might be involved here as the 34. It's a little poke in there on the inside.
That wasn't where it started. I think there was something going on up front that started all that with that 30, with the 30 car or the 31 car that spun. That 30 car, the blue car. I think that's where everything started. I think there was a little bit of contact with the red 54. We'll start calling them the red 54 so I don't mess up anymore.
Butcher.
Yeah, Butcher. It looks like he got up into the 30, and that kind of started. Well, yep, there you go. Yep, almost had one go upside down again.
Joey Arsenault in the 31 gets clipped
as
he tries to get around there, and we've been watching him from all the way from the tail as he was our pole setter here tonight. Not sure what kind of damage he'll come out of this, but Noel Fougier in the 31 trying to clear here. Fitzpatrick, the 31 into the back of the 78 of Fitzpatrick. So, like we said earlier on, Dave, pretty much everybody in the field has damage at this point. So 99 looks pretty clean, but does have a little bit of side damage. Well, lots of people on pit road now, so that may play a factor here as we are 1/3 of the way. Jared Butcher, Byron Bartlett, Stephen Matthews, Mike Rhino, and Matthew Barkhouse on pit road. So we've seen in the past that some of these, late or I'll say early pit road visits has made a big factor at the end here.
Cars running single file right now. They're getting getting told where to line up. Like you said, a lot of pit stops going on right now. So this is going to jumble the field up right now, and the opportunity to take a look at the scoring tower here without missing yet another crash. See Brandon Campbell, we looked at it 94. The Jake Goodwin, the 24 card, all beat up and tore up and everything, but still got that number 24 in second. Nick Codner, 54 car, he is in the 3rd spot. John Byron, number 57 car, he's 4th. And Joey Arsenault, your pole sitter, has worked his way up to 5th.
Now, you said you were a numbers guy. Danny Chisholm had the best lap here tonight with a 14:52. Right now, our leader, his best lap here tonight was a 14:06. Danny has quite a bit of damage over the last couple, but we'll see what happens here now as we get restarted here. Green flag is out. Campbell gets it going here. And look at that, the 54 and 57 side by side. That's Byron and Codner going for it for position number 3. Codner with a little advantage on the inside. He's trying to squeeze in behind Goodwin and does get clear now of Goodwin and now sets his sights on the 24. Another caution. Now we've seen in the past the directors here at TCM have done single file restarts. If they can't get it going here, will they throw that here? Haven't seen it in quite some time, but tonight this is probably the director's nerves are now getting to the last draw.
Oh, the 31 car goes upside down. He started on the pole, had to go to the back, had a pretty good run going towards the front, and he's been involved in the last 2 incidents. Except this time, it looks like he went up on his lid this time. What happens? Down the front straightaway
Chisholm
here.
is on the tail.
Down into the corner.
There's
Oh,
one
yeah.
quickest
He's
curve.
going to wash up and hit the
Oh.
36. Yeah, he went in the corner a little
Who's
rough.
here?
Looked like it pushed him a little bit. Oh, it just got clipped, and oh, yeah.
Oof.
Here we go.
Well, that's going to take a couple of laps to fix.
That's going to
the-
leave a
in the
mark,
vir-
isn't it? Yeah,
in
that's
the
going to leave a
virtual
mark.
pit
Yeah.
road.
Yeah, it is.
Unfortunately for the 31 of Joey Arsenault, putting on a show here tonight. Sat on the pole, but unfortunately got a little contact there earlier with Butcher, and you know, it's very difficult, you know, on such a short track to come from all the way from the tail and try to get up through the minefield. You know, with all these cautions in play and trying to get around everybody, you know, a bit of a show he's put on, but we'll see what he has for us as he heads down pit road.
So I got to ask, the South Boston track here that we're running on tonight, very similar to the Old Dominion Speedway that I used to work at. And you guys being up in Canada, is there any track in Canada that comes to mind that is similar to South Boston that these guys could kind of, you know, maybe work with and that they've run before that maybe gives them a little bit of an advantage? Do they have something similar to this racetrack in Canada?
Well, Southern Boston is what is it? It's 2/5, is it?
Yeah, I think it's 3/8. I think it was very similar to Old Dominion, about a 3/8,
Yeah.
625. Yeah,
The banking is 12 degrees, so not a lot of big.
7.5, so it's 3/8. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, 3/8. Similar to eastbound. Eastbound is a little bit different. Antigonish is another one. Antigonish and Eastbound Park are quite similar, but eastbound is a bit gnarly. It's an uphill 1-2, downhill 3-4, with the 18-degree banks. So.
A lot like the North Wilkesboro Speedway, the one that the Cup cars used to run. It was uphill going down the front straightaway and downhill going down the back straightaway.
One thing that makes eastbound a little bit unique is that we have a parallel drag strip on the front stretch. So we share just off 50 feet to the left is a drag strip, and so our front stretch is completely flat. So you go from an 18-degree bank into a flat. So. A bit gnarly, but we got contact once again here. Is
something else going behind all this too?
We're still green flag, but we do have a car around. That's Colin Matthews in 6.5, and unfortunately, that's the 41 of Jason Goss. And he's somehow involved, but we'll see just momentarily as a little rewind here, and we'll get a peek here at the 65 of Colin Matthews.
I think the white car, the 36.
Who's here?
Yeah, I think he kind of got.
They're all checking up, though.
Oh, I guess
Chisholm
not.
was on the
Oh, I see
inside.
why. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all checking up there. Danny Chisholm was down on the bottom here, so we'll have a peek here.
It looks like he came off the corner and kind of got into this. Or the 6 car smacked the wall and knocked him out of the way, and then all of a sudden it just kind of got.
Yeah,
bad from that
Byron
point.
was involved there with the 6. Kind of a domino effect down as everybody checked up. Don't you just wish you could have a replay like that for the announcer booth in real life?
It would be nice. It would be nice. I can't tell you how many nights I spent in the flag stand just kind of shaking my head saying, come on, man.
What the
What is
hell
that?
just
Yeah,
happened?
it's like that ESPN show that they got. Come on, man.
So at eastbound, calling from the tower, we're three stories up in a castle, and but there is one spot on that track. The tech shed is on in the infield between 3 and 4, and right there they get down to the bottom there, and
Can't see 'em.
that is where the dirty stuff happens, and you don't know. The only person that knows is the driver sometimes.
Yeah, I guess, and you know, it's funny. It's funny about these drivers. You know, sometimes they do things on the racetrack that you just kind of shake your head. You're like, really? You just did that? But yet, when they will find places like that on a racetrack quicker than you could shake a stick. I mean, it's crazy how they find little places like that, little niches in the racetrack where they can do stuff and know that nobody's able to see it. So it's crazy sometimes.
Well, I strapped the helmet on for 4 years out of Detroit, and ended up in monster trucks and traveling all over the world with Motorsports, and Once I got involved with stock car racing, though, it was a totally different planet. These drivers do not forget. So an incident that might have happened 2 years ago, it's still brewing in that driver's head. They do not forget. And at some point over several seasons, there's sometimes a payback. So
Yeah, well, I did it for 10 years myself, and I understand, but I can also tell you flagmen don't forget either.
a little contact there before the green
Oh, yeah.
flag there,
Oh,
before
yeah.
the flag let it go, but we got a peek in there. I believe that was the 57 that got into the rear of the 99,
well.
and he's going to go for a ride because he went all the way over the top of the 54 of Jared Butcher and rides that wall. The 57 earlier, like I said, on that restart, getting into the back, I believe, the 99. And they are going to call the caution here. Paul, how are you, buddy? Interesting night. How's the Wobbly Pops down in Connecticut?
Wobbly Pops are doing just fine, and we're going to take a look at the Rent-A-Race Car Super Speedway Series instant replay. You saw the 57 there practicing his best Tony Hawk impression. As they're redoing Tony Hawk 1 and 2 Pro Skater, and that's pretty cool because I don't know about you guys, but that was my video game growing up as a kid. I played that way more than I needed to because I was too damn fat to get on a real skateboard. But I digress. We'll take a look at the instant replay, find out exactly what happened on the number 57. Running third, backs up into fourth, and side by side with the red and black car. Just kind of, I don't even know how that happened. Back that up one more time.
It kind of climbed up on the 54 car there.
Yeah, it was almost like he drove right up on top of him.
We'll get a good shot out of it here. Yep.
There we go.
Yep.
Yeah, just the way the wall's shaped here, but sends him up on his top. Wasn't able to get that thing flipped back over, so he had to call a tow truck, get him set back down onto pit road. It's going to take him a minute before he's going to be able to even start working on that car, as virtually right now you see it. He is sitting in his pit stall, but essentially there's a tow truck driving him back to that stall to get the car worked on. So tough break for the 57 of John Byron. You see a couple of other guys on pit road. And back up front, Brandon Campbell, the number 99, is your leader. Just want to take a quick second here to thank everybody on social media, Facebook Live. If you're watching us on Facebook, either Tim's Corner Motorsports or the Vidane TV page, be sure you smash that like button and hit the share a couple of times too. Let your friends know that you're watching some live racing action here on Vidane TV from South Boston Speedway. The Tranquility Super Late Models here for Tim's Corner Motorsports. Same deal with YouTube. We're working on building up our YouTube kind of footprint, if you will, as it were, and it's basically we need you to subscribe to the channel and share the channel. Let your friends know that we've got that live racing action there at least 6 nights a week. Same deal,
work, Paul. Swipe up, not left.
Yeah, swipe up, not left. We don't no left, maybe right. I don't know.
I don't think Dave knows what Tinder is.
I'm gonna leave that one alone too.
Yeah. Well, we are cross flags,
pops,
boys.
yeah.
We are halfways, and just looking at this, Brandon Campbell and Jake Gubin have not gone down pit road. Our fifth position, 56, Stephen Matthews, has visited pit road 5 times here tonight. So, but we are going to get green flag as the flash bulbs are going, and Brandon Campbell takes control once again here, Dave. No pit stop just yet for the top 2, so will we see them go down pit road and see a bit of a change here in the leadership? But we have seen in the past, we've had winners come down with 0.1 of a fuel tank. So has the 99 put that in a strategy here tonight? We will see as he controls this from the front. Brandon Campbell, Jake Gilbert, Brad, Eddie, and Stephen Matthews, your top 4.
Yeah, if they think that they could do this without a fuel stop, I mean, it would certainly be worth the risk. And I'm sure that the guys that are spotting and so forth and so on are kind of taking a look at how many caution laps they ran, because a lot of caution laps. They say one lap it's half the amount of fuel. And we've had a lot of caution laps. It'll be interesting to see how many caution laps we've had. And whether or not these guys, some of these guys might even think about trying to pull the trigger and just going the rest of the way without making a fuel stop.
Well, right now, the 53 of Cole Butcher, 2-time Maritime Pro Stock champion, is on the tail of that 56 of Stephen Matthews. Stephen Matthews not looking like a lot of damage on that car as quite a few cars in the incidents here tonight, but looking a little bit cleaner than some. So Matthews lurking on that 6 car of Brad Eddy for position number 3. He's all over the back bumper, but he's also got Cole Butcher back there lurking like a shark.
Been wanting to ask this question, again, not knowing a lot of these drivers, but we talked about the 6 car of Brad Eddy. Any relation to Mike Eddy that used to race the late model cars years ago?
Not quite familiar with Brad Eddy. I know he's a top runner here in the Iron Racing Series. He's part of that team of, Corey Hall that is now no longer with us here tonight. Also part of the team with Danny Chisholm and King Racing. So very stout driver here in the Maritimes. I don't get to see him very much here in the island, but Brad Eddy, definitely one of the top contenders here in
Mike Eddy, I believe, was from the Midwest, but I'm curious if he was part of that Eddy racing family that used to race back in the old ASA days in the Midwest, the Wisconsins and so forth.
And it looks like the 56, both from Nova Scotia, I believe, is looking to capitalize here on the inside. Brad Eddy's all the way right next to that wall, and 56 just wanting to bite at the bit here. But it gets a little loose there, but we have caution. The caution flag is out, so we'll see our good buddy Paul come back here. We've got quite a few cautions here already this evening. Looks like Matthew Barkhouse is on pit road, so
yeah, just kind of sifting through the tapes here to see if we can find out what the deal is, because I do see the I don't know, the 54 is back. See if we can find what exactly happened there.
Was it one of those happy caution flags you guys talked about earlier?
It may very well have been. See, it looks like we're...
Go to the Goodyear blimp.
Aha!
Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh, poor 65.
Man, this is not Colin Matthews this night.
He is having a rough night tonight. See what happens. I think there was a little bit of contact.
The 87 Danny Chisholm.
Looks like the car washed up a little bit. He had to let off the gas, and the 87 car just kind of tagged him from the rear. Just one of those things. It looked like the car kind of washed up the racetrack a little bit.
Yeah, I tried to grab a gear and get going, but unfortunately there was an inside wall there, so having to switch it back into that R for race gear and get that thing turned around and get going. Going to be restarting probably about 55 laps or so, so he's still going to be restarting on a lead lap. It looks like we got 14, 15 cars on a lead lap, so not that tall of an order to get from the rear to the back. We saw him run up front earlier on tonight, so we'll see what he can do here in the Matthews 65 machine.
How many caution laps have we run? Do you keep track of that, how many caution laps we've run?
We actually have a graphic for that. We have run 10 cautions for 45 laps so far, and we've actually had 6 lead changes. And the fastest lap of the race was a 14.528, which belongs to Danny Chisholm.
But we've run literally half of the race so far under caution, so that bodes well for the guys trying to do a fuel race.
Well, let's talk about something positive. The 45 laps we did see were exciting.
Oh no, absolutely. I've enjoyed this race. It's definitely been exciting, and I've enjoyed it. But there again, these guys are looking to win the race in one way, shape, or form due to strategy or whatever. And if they got to run 50 or 60 laps under caution to win a race, I'm sure they'll do it.
We got green flag and strategy right now. Our gone down pit road. Brad Eddy has entered pit road at least once here now. So Brandon Camel, the only car besides Joey Arsenault, they're all. Joey has not entered the pit road yet, which is surprising. The 31 now has made it into position number 9 again.
Right now, we're approaching the 100-lap mark, and we talked about this earlier. Right around 100 to 125. If you have anything, well, it doesn't look like a whole lot is left of a lot of the cars, but if you have anything left, you're going to have to kind of go towards the front with, like I say, between 100 and 125 laps, you're going to have to go because it's not going to take long to run those final few laps.
We talked earlier about Stephen Matthews, strategy-wise. He had entered pit road 5 times. He went down pit road once again on that last one. So now he is the I guess the most popular one on pit road. Him and Danny Chisholm have been on pit road 6 times here tonight.
Still running 7th too after being down pit road that many times. The car's still a bit worse for the wear on the front end there, but the car's still sticking to the bottom, so the car's still handling for him. And he's almost able to make the pass on the 30 car there of Keith McClellan, and still running side by side. But whatever they're doing on pit road, whatever little adjustments they're making on pit road is paying off.
Well, he's got 2 Torbay natives in front of him, Nick Codner in the 54, as well as the 41 of Jason Goss. 2 of them there with a bit of a wall now in front of Keith McClellan and the 56 of Stephen Matthews. Both of them looks like they were trying to work together, but the 54 is going to wash up a little bit, and the 56 now on the inside. Stephen Matthews going door to door right now with the 54 Codner.
He's definitely making that inside groove work, pushing those cars up to the outside, and with the tires getting more worn and worn going up to that outside, causing those cars on the outside to act up a little bit, and has made his way, through the field. And it looks like he's up to the 5th spot right now. So the 54 car definitely doing the number right now.
And earlier on, we were talking about Jake Goodwin in the 24. He was on the front row with Brandon Campbell. They were both lone soldiers out there, besides Joey Arsenault, that did not go down pit road. The 24 eventually did go on the last caution, so he's trying to make it work here. Jake Goodwin now in position number 6 after 105 laps completed. So he's got a little bit of a new rubber underneath him and new shoes, and trying to make it up from that last caution.
Let's take a look at that 99 car. We've been talking about the battle for the top 4, probably maybe 3rd place and back. The cars were running really tight back there, but that 99 car, notice he's stretching it out just a little bit each lap, and now he's to the point now where he can start saving a little tire. He's got such a good lead right now, a 1.366 second lead. He can actually start kind of letting it go a little bit, maybe getting off of it a little bit in the corners, not hitting the gas so hard, going out of the corners, and saving those tires with only 42 laps to go. This is a good advantage. In fact, this is the biggest advantage we've seen all night long during this event.
Well, and there's been such a seesaw here with some of the cars, like we said, that have been down pit road. Matthews going down again, now finds himself in position number 2 with those new slicks, and now trying to make a run on Brandon Campbell. The 40 laps to go. Matthews looks like the car to watch right now, as he's made up a lot of time. Jake Goodwin is on the move, is now in the window of the top 4. Nick Codner found himself in position number 3, but Brandon Campbell is going to have some company in just a moment, as a lot of these cars with fresh shoes may put a lot of pressure right now on our leader, the 99 of Brandon Campbell.
Yeah, I'm looking at the times on the top 2 cars, and right now Brandon Campbell ran a 15.1 and Stephen Matthews ran a 14.9, so about a 0.2 of a second per lap that he's making up ground on the 99 car of Brandon Campbell. But at 0.2 a lap, you got to wonder, and without a mistake, mathematically, yes, he should be able to catch him, but he's got to not make a mistake. He's got to run good, clean laps. He's got to hit his marks every single lap. The old adage that they say in racing, catching them's one thing, passing them's another.
Yes, sir. Well, this is going to be exciting with 35 laps to go here. Counting them down for the big 150 here on Friday night. It's been exciting so far. If you're out there on Facebook land, give us a shout out who you're looking for the big win here tonight, and where you're from. We'd like to hear from you here on TCM on Tim's Corner Motorsports. It's been an exciting last 6 weeks, Steve. I hope to get to do some more calls with you, as tonight's been quite enjoyable. A little history from going all the way back, and it's pretty exciting to hear some of that stuff.
Speaking of exciting, it's starting to get exciting now, because if you go back to that in-car camera on that 56 in the 56 car of Stephen Matthews, watch that car going into the corners. That's where he's making the time up. He's able to go down a lot deeper into the corners, and they're about even on the straightaways. But watch how that 56 car just closes the gap on Brandon Campbell as they go into the corner. So he's caught him now, and Campbell knows he's there. So now the thing is Campbell sees it. He's just got to quit worrying about what's behind him and hit his marks. Try to keep that 56 car behind him. But with 30 laps to go, he's got his hands full to have to hold him back for 30 laps to get to the end of this race.
Yeah, and the big question we've seen on some of these short tracks is, with 5-10 laps to go, we've seen our leaders fall ill to not enough fuel for the distance here. So not sure what is the details on the 99 on how much fuel he has remaining. There was a lot of caution laps, which does play an advantage for him. But we are now within that window, 28 laps to go here. Campbell holding on to bare threads here now as the 56 coming on strong.
At this point, well, really, he's stuck. He's got himself in a corner here. He really can't go down pit road. He's got to pretty much just kind of do his thing and just hope that he's got enough fuel in that 99 car to make the distance. Like we said earlier, at the 90 lap mark, we'd run about half of the laps under caution. But since that 90 lap mark, we've had a pretty clean race. So they've been using full fuel, but we'll see. But at this point, he's kind of painted himself in the corner. He almost just has to stay out there. And if he runs out of fuel, as much as a heartbreaker it is, but you kind of got to go for it in racing, because you've been leading this many laps. You might as well just go for it.
Well, we started with 22 cars. Right now, only 15 cars on the track, as quite a few cars have now retired. Joey Arsenault now retired. Not sure what happened back there, but he was down a couple of laps. And Joey, big shout out to him for having a good run here tonight. Unfortunately, with a few incidents there and trying to get up through that minefield that did not work out for the 31, but a lot of clean air now for the drivers as on this short track here at Sobo. 15 drivers now vying for the big win here with only 23 laps to go here, Dave. The 99 put on a bit of a show there. Maybe the 56 being a little bit patient back there, not being a lot of too aggressive at this point, and just trying to, I guess, play out when he'll make his move here.
I think with 20 laps to go, he's gonna have to wait for it. Well, there it is, right there. He's going to the inside of the 99. We'll see how they go down in the corner. Well,
hang on to it.
Honestly, I did not see any contact there. The 99 got into the corner. We can throw that up on the replay if we get the opportunity, but I did not see any contact with the 56 and the 99 on that.
They are going to go back to the replay here while we still continue under
when they
green
went in
flag.
the corner. You see separation as they go down the front. There's separation. There's nothing. There was no contact there with the 99. So it looks like he might have been kind of paying attention to what was behind him and didn't hit that mark and got a little loose going in the corner. And it's a tough break for Brandon Campbell, because he ran an awesome race tonight. But that happens, and that's exactly what Stephen Matthews was looking for, was that one mistake. And when that mistake happened, he was able to pounce on it, and now he's your new leader with 17 to go.
Well, props to the 99 Brandon Campbell with a bit of a save there, as that car got real loose coming out of that corner, and to be able to hang on to it there. Not sure the resume behind Brandon Campbell, but almost a little dirt track in there coming around the corner, and managed to save it and still maintain that position number 2 in front of Nick Codner. Because we got quite a few drivers now trying to come up through. Jake Goodwin, Jason Goss, Jared Butcher, all back there trying to come up. I'm assuming their spotters are praying right now for a caution to get all this restacked. But we've had a long green flag run here as we get close to 15 laps left to go here. Steve Matthews, without a caution, this could be a good night here for the 56 team.
Right now, you see Stephen Matthews stretching it out. He's already 1.3 seconds ahead. That third place car, it's maintained about a 3-second deficit from the leader. So Not really sure if the third place two cars, the Nick Codner and the Jake Goodwin, are making up any time on Brandon Campbell. Right now, it looks like everything's kind of settled in right now. Hopefully for the last 12 laps, we can go 12 lap green flag racing and finish this thing off, because it started off like a demo derby, but this last long green run has kind of spread the field out just a little bit.
Well, the 56 now coming up through lap traffic is now getting around the 65 with Colin Matthews. Maybe we can get up to the Goodyear blimp to have a peek at the gaps right now between the battles here. You'll see there now on the screen the 56 now, nobody around him. So not sure what's going on behind there with Nick Codner and Jake Goodwin as they battle it out, probably over a half a track behind now our leader, Stephen Matthews.
Yeah, 1.6 seconds, the difference between first and second, and then another 1.9 seconds to the third place car. And so right now, those top three cars kind of spread out around this 3/8 mile here oval at South Boston Speedway.
Yeah, only battle on the track right now with our leaders is the 54 and the 24 of Jake Goodwin, as Goodwin tries to put a lot of pressure now on the 54. But a lot of damage on that 24, and Codner holding on to it there in position number 3. We're inside right now the 24, Jake Goodwin, as the 54 Codner has got a full rear view mirror, that Napa 24.
Yeah, Codner's done a good job tonight. He's been involved in a couple incidents. You see the car all tore up, but I still got to give props to what's left of the Napa car, the number 24 car. He has got, I don't think there's a straight piece of sheet metal on that car. Body man going to be busy on that car this week, and to get ready for the next race. But he's done an awesome job tonight. So again, props to Jake Goodwin.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's only 15 cars of the field left. Could there be a possibility of a caution with 5 laps left to go here? Larry Mack might say it probably will go green flag here, as distance between them as the leaders get up through the lap traffics here. Unless you see something wild and crazy here. Stephen Matthews is in total control here. As he comes around for 4 laps to go here at the big 150 here in Sobo. What a night of racing. A lot of cautions here earlier on, but it's all Stephen Matthews right now. As look at that. Here we go. The 54 and the 24 now making it to the back bumper of the 99. Codner now putting pressure on Brandon Campbell.
I tell you what, this is not what the spotters for Stephen Matthews want to see. Is the second, third, and fourth place car running side by side or close to each other with 3 laps to go, because the last thing he wants to see is a car get turned and have to do a restart for a green-white checker. Because right now he's got a 4-second or a 4-second lead over these 3 cars, and he absolutely does not want to see these guys tangle up and have a caution at the end.
Well, we are white silk right now for Stephen Matthews and the 56 as he comes around. Final lap here for the big 150 at Sobo. It's all the Edward Collins Contracting Universal Environment 56. Picking up some checkered flags, Dave. What an exciting night, and it's all the 56, followed by Brandon Campbell putting on a show. He's going to maintain that position number 2 as he had a lot of pressure from Nick Codner and Jake Goodwin. But there's the fireworks, Dave. Big night for the 56 as strategy for sure, as he banged out a lot of sheet metal on those 6 pit stops.
A tough break for Brandon Campbell, the 99 car. Led a lot of the races here, but we talked about it when Matthews got up behind him. You brought it up earlier. Is he sitting back there? Is he sitting back there? And we kind of said, if the 99, if Brandon makes a little bit of a mistake, and you saw it coming out of turn 4, car got a little high. Steve Matthews was there, and it was all over but the shouting once he got around him.
Big shout out for the 5th position. Jason Goss ran a big run there. Come up from the front to the back. Managing into the top 5. 6th place, Keith McClellan in the 30 car. Jared Butcher in the 54. Craig McDonald in the 98th. He's in 8th position. Danny Chisholm was our leader earlier on, the fastest lap of the night. He's going to finish out in the 9th position. Noel Fouchier in the 36 rounds it out in our top 10. So pretty wild night. Byron Bartlett there in 11th position. He was the non-qualifier making it into the big show here tonight. He was 1 lap behind. And we've
tough night for Joey Arsenault, your pole sitter, ending up 15th tonight.
Yeah, just it's going all the way to the back. Like I said, trying to make it up through that minefield. Did not play out for Cole Butcher as well. The 53, he's finished in the 16th position, and it's been a wild first 1/3 of the race. The first 50 laps were pretty intense for our good buddy Tim Terry, and he's joined us now in the trailer here. Dave, we got Tim Terry with us. Hello, Tim.
Hello, and you guys, I believe, have your winner, Steve Matthews, with you, the 21st driver to make his way into the All-Star race, Mike. So take it away with Steve.
Steve, you got you? Mr. Matthews. Check 1, check 2.
I'm here. I got you.
Hey, we got him. Steven Matthews, what a run you had here tonight. Man, 6 pit stops. A lot of damage on the car. Were you beating the sheet metal out tonight?
Oh, the pit crew got their they earned their money tonight. It was a rough and tumble race, and it was all about survival. And after the first few big wrecks there, kind of just hung out in the back and kept pitting, get new tires, get some damage fixed, and let it all play out there in the end. And the last caution came in for 4 fresh ones, and it paid off.
Well, Steve, Dave Menifee here. Right there towards the end, when you were 3 and 4 seconds behind the leader, and you just slowly but surely made your way up out on his rear bumper, and I think you kind of played a little head game with the guy. You just followed him a little bit. You took your time, didn't catch up to him, and then try to pass him immediately. You just sat there and sat there and sat there, and I think you had him looking in the rearview mirror. Was that your plan?
Yeah, 10-4 on that. I knew he didn't have fresh ones, and it kind of equaled out there when with his tires and my new ones. They were kind of even, and then about 10 laps in, I just kind of rolled with him. I seen him. I was catching him, and just just stayed in his mirror there and kept him honest. And he tried to shut the door on me, and I would do it too. It's going for the win, and it all worked out in the end.
And it didn't take much either. You guys were coming out of 4, and his car just kind of slipped up just a little bit, enough for you to get the nose of your machine under him. And after that, it was kind of it was all done once you got around him. But hey, I want to congratulate you on an excellent run. It was well deserved, and kind of a tough night those first 100 laps with all the caution flags. But you were able to miss everything and come out with the win. So congratulations on your win tonight.
Well, thank you very much, guys. Thanks for all you guys too.
Oh, thank you, Steve. That 56, very familiar here on the Rock. I'm sure there's quite a few down in Placentia drinking a few wobbly pops, cheering you on here tonight. Anybody you want to give a shout out tonight, Steve?
I just want to thank NBNS Racing there, all the boys. We put a lot of time in practicing, and of course Josh there, he helps me out, and I just want to thank you guys. You do a great job. Appreciate it.
Oh, that's Steve Matthews, the 56, our race winner here, Dave. I believe Brandon Campbell's here. Dave, you want to have a few words with Brandon?
Hey, Brandon, you got me, bub?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Brandon, good run tonight. You led a lot of laps tonight. I know it was a little bit of a heartbreaker there towards the end, but we talked to Steve, and he kept putting rubber on. There was really not a whole lot you could have done about that because you ran this whole thing without going into pits, I believe. You were on kind of tires that had a whole lot of miles on it compared to what he had.
Yeah, I guess it came down to I just thought he had more damage than he did. I know a lot of the field had damage, so I was hoping it would drag out with the tires, but just came up a little short.
He was making up about 0.2 a lap on you there with about 30 to go, and you could see it on the screen, and I'm sure your spotter was telling you about it, that he was on his way, and he got back there on the rear bumper. And like I said, the tires were the difference. You just slipped just a little bit coming out of 4, and once he got under you, it was kind of a done deal. But hey, congratulations on a super run, leading a lot of laps tonight. Second place is better than third, so congratulations on an awesome run tonight.
Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for putting this on. It's fun to watch when we have no real racing to watch. So I appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Tim, and good run, Steven.
Hey, hold on. I got a question for Brandon. How many Polar Pops did that take you to get through the race tonight?
I might need a couple after the race. That had me stressed out.
You got one on me when I'm allowed back in New Brunswick.
Well, let's hope that's soon.
Well, congratulations to Brandon Campbell. Campbell, do you got anybody you want to give a big shout out to as well? Any sponsors here tonight?
My team DMR, we raced quite a bit. Put in quite a few laps this week to finish where we did. So I'd like to thank them and just you guys and Tim for putting this on for us every week.
Excellent. I see you got Dexter on the rear quarter there as someone to support you in real life, or?
No, I just tried to make the Sean Turple paint scheme. He's always been my favorite in real life, so I thought I'd show him off in here a little bit too.
A big shout out to Sean Turple. What a guy. Well,
Not sponsored by Sean Turple.
There you go. Well, congratulations. Awesome run. Very exciting watching you on the front. Before I let you go, though, did you think you had enough fuel there to get it to the end?
All the caution laps kind of helped us out a little bit, but let's just say it was cutting it close at the end.
Yeah, only 2 cars did not go down pit road. Yourself and the 31. The 31 did not finish the race. So throughout that whole 150, I was biting at the edge that we didn't see another Craig McDonald from earlier on in the season. So congratulations to making it to the finish line without that pit stop. So strategy played in your favor. But unfortunately, you didn't take the checker here tonight. But maybe we'll see you tomorrow night and throughout the week.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you next time.
That's Brandon Campbell, Dave. What a run. Definitely the caution laps playing a factor there with the fuel. So we do have our third place. Nick Codner is now in the booth with us, the 54 from Torbay, Newfoundland, Labrador. Nick, you there, bud?
Yeah, you guys got me?
Yeah, what's going on, Nicky? Great run here tonight. Congratulations. All over the place from the back to the front. Real strong here tonight. So super excited, even for myself. Oh, I get to call you since the very early parts of your career. So really looking forward to seeing you in the All-Star race. But take us through tonight. What was your thoughts on the race?
Yeah, I didn't get the qualifying run I wanted, and I just got through my heat race with the last lap pass, and then I had to start in the very back. And I can't thank Michael Neary enough for helping me out and spot me up through the front there and help me avoid most of the wrecks. But that big one on the front straightaway, we didn't get too much damage, so it kind of helped us there. It didn't really take us out of it. And we kept working. We had to come to the pits a couple times, had to go to the back and try to get our damage fixed. And there was only like 14 of us on the lead lap, and it just worked out. We got up to the front, and I knew Steve had fresh tires, so we couldn't really have to give him anything. So his third place was good enough with a beat up car, so we're pretty happy.
Pretty exciting there. I know you had Jason, a Torbay native. You've been practicing quite a bit here now with the eastbound races. It must be nice to have another Torbay native on the track with you. Unfortunately, Michael Neary did not make it to you, so you got your spotter here tonight. So anybody you want to give a special thank to, Nick, on the car?
Well, first off, obviously my parents for, helping me out, and we finally got a setup this year and finally got iRacing. And then I'd like to thank Michael Neary for all he does for me and helped me out when I first got it and helped me out again here tonight. And I'd like to thank Doug Critch of DC Auto. That's what's on the hood. He was helping us out there. He's actually spotting for Jason Goss, so we'd like to give him a big thanks too.
All the way from Fort McMurray, Doug Critch, awesome guy. And Nick, man, I hope to see you on track side sooner than later. We've had some meetings promising for some practice very shortly, so hopefully we'll see you in the near future. And congratulations once again for your top 3. I know the damage was a big factor, so hopefully we'll see you tomorrow night or throughout the week.
All right, thanks.
All right, Dave, exciting night. Great calling the show with you. I think we got Tim. Tim, you must have been frustrated for the first 100.
Well, I'm going to blame this on Paul Strickland Jr. Because when Paul pulled me up about 5 laps in, we were having a good time, and then all of a sudden the field wrecked on the front straightaway. So we're going to throw that out to Paul.
That's
blasphemy.
Blasphemy.
That is it's the bad voodoo from next door, I think is what it was. But yeah, once we got some green flag racing in there, I hate to say it, but it sounded like a typical TCM race. We ran 55 laps at the end consecutive to the checkered flag. Steve and Brandon put on a great show, both drivers trying to lock themselves into the showcase race. And Steve has been close so many times, so it's great to see him pull out the victory. Brandon, I think this is the second race in a row that we've had a driver lead the most laps and not be able to win the race. We saw Richard Drake do it last Saturday night, and we saw Brandon Campbell do it tonight. I think those guys are going to be favorites for the All-Star Open if they don't make it in the other way. But congratulations to to Steve, his crew, Top 3, and for everybody coming out tonight and supporting this deal. Our next super late race is next Friday night. We're going to run the Lucas Oil Raceway, IRP, LORP, whatever you want to call it. And Mike, you mentioned it tomorrow night as well. We've got the TCM Triple Threat benefiting the IWK Foundation and the IWK Children's Hospital. We've got 3 different races, short races we're going to run. 3 different cars, 2 different surfaces. We're going to run 2 dirt races, 2 short dirt races, and 1 75-lap Tranquility Super Late Model Show. All benefiting the IWK, and the winner is also going to get an All-Star Showcase berth. So it's going to be a fun night. Greg Stewart and his crew have done a great job putting that forward. So that's going to be fun. Want to thank Tranquility once again, Mark D'Entremont, Joel Muse. Congratulations to Mark and Ashley on their
baby.
Their new arrival. I have to blame George. George sent me that a little bit earlier before we came on air and said you should probably mention that, and I didn't even know. So congratulations to them. Can't wait to party with them down in Yarmouth when this thing all ends. But
not anymore.
Yeah.
He's got a baby.
Well, no, they've had some young ones down there too. So I mean, they can balance the iRacing and the partying and all that good stuff. You know how that works.
As you keep adding, Tim, it gets worse.
Well, see, I don't know that. I have to learn from experience, and apparently that's what I have to learn from you.
Well, when Mambo number 5 comes, it's all over.
Well, you have enough for a NASCAR pit crew, so I don't know if I should be jealous or if that's whatever.
You should be jealous.
I don't. Well, maybe. I want to thank you and Dave for putting on a great show tonight as well. Thanks for Dave for coming in and being a part of this deal, and Paul for pushing all those buttons down there and giving the voodoo on like halfway through that race. And it is what it is. But Paul, I know you guys got some events coming up. Tomorrow night is going to be special, but you guys got some big events coming up too in the next couple weeks.
Absolutely. We're going to try and keep the voodoo to a minimum tomorrow night. Really excited about the Tim's Corner Motorsports Triple Threat benefiting the IWK Foundation tomorrow night. Going to be able to check that out and be sure to come out and watch the race with us. Now, Sunday night, we usually do the East Coast Winter League, but this Sunday night, 9 o'clock, their time slot was actually sold to the higher bidder. We're going to be taking a look at the Down South Street Stock Series championship night for them, and then we're going to revisit the East Coast Winter League next Sunday night, as that'll be their championship race because we want to make sure we crown a champion with them. On Monday night, that's actually going to be a doubleheader here for us at Vidane TV. We're going to have the Florida Pro Truck Series going to be starting, I believe, at 7 p.m. Eastern. Be sure to pay attention to the Facebook page because the times definitely may change. And we're going to be, we've got a new league coming out here, another championship night. It's going to be 3 championships in a week, which is pretty cool. But they're going to be racing with us 9 o'clock Sunday night, so that'll be very, very exciting. Then we've got, that'll be Monday night. Check that, not Sunday, Monday. Monday night, the TCM Cummins 200 Invitational, so that's going to be pretty cool from Tim's Corner Motorsports. And then Wednesday night, we're doing heading back down to New Smyrna for the World E-Series. Last rotation for the 3 cars. We're going to be back in the street stocks, and we're going to be running the tour mods the week after that, and then the super late models to crown the New Smyrna World E-Series of Racing champion. So lots of big stuff going on here at Vidane TV. We've got the big North Wilkesboro race, the 87 cars, the late 80s cars, the Cup cars that we're going to be running with the East Coast Winter League. That event's actually open to the public. We did share the event's details over on the Vidane TV Facebook page, so be sure to check that out. I believe it's a $5 entry fee, and, well, here at Vidane TV, we may very well be handing out a couple of sponsorships to get a little bit of banner space there on that race, but you'll be able to check that out live here on Vidane TV. And we were also working on the details. We should have something to announce here by Monday, but we're going to be doing a little bit of a North versus South action. We're going to do a Stafford Speedway drivers versus New Smyrna Speedway drivers, and that's Northern Connecticut versus Northern Florida, or Central Florida, I believe. So that's going to be really cool. A lot of positive reaction from the New Smyrna guys as well as the Stafford Speedway guys that we work with, both at the New England Pennsylvania League and the East Coast Winter League. But there's 30 days in June, and we've got 24 shows coming at you live, so there is no missing any kind of action. As Vidane TV, we're always trying to entertain the masses. You'll notice we don't air any of our political views just because, you know what, we're just trying to kind of put the blinders on, don't really want to kind of pay attention to any of that. We want to be able to release from the real world and have some fun and call some live action here. But from Verdane TV, from Tim's Corner Motorsports, Tim Terry, the league admin and the league owner here, Mike James from On the Rock, and Dave Menefee. Whoa.
Can I run for president?
Do you guys have a president out there?
No, I want to come to the States again.
I thought Dwight Ball resigned. Can't you just start there?
No, I'm going back to Atlanta. I'm going to the South.
But that's not where the White House
on
is.
that.
but
if
we
I run,
digress.
can we do our political views then?
Sure.
Paul, where were we?
Just getting ready to go get a couple more wobbly pops here at I don't even know what the name of the bar is.
Give
here
us
at
a
South
Macho
Boston
Man
Speedway.
exit, please.
But you just
yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll catch you on the flip side here at Verdane TV. We'll catch you next time.
Cream to the top.